Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be making a bee keychain. It looks like this when made with worsted weight yarn. I typically make these in plush yarn, but for the simplicity of the video, I have made it in worsted weight yarn because these stitches are easier to see on camera in worsted weight yarn. This is a no-sew pattern, so the wings are not sewn on, they're slip stitched right on. So it's a very beginner friendly pattern. But this video is just a tutorial of how to make this. It's not a tutorial of how to crochet in general. So you do need to be at least a little bit experienced for making this pattern. And in the video, I also will briefly go over how to attach a keychain to your keychain, whether it's this one or another one that you've made. If you don't know how to do it, the process is fairly simple. Though I'm not an expert, so if you guys think I'm doing it wrong, please let me know. But this is how I've been doing it, and it's worked out okay. Most of the keychain kits on Amazon, and I'll link the one I have below, come with just this loop with the chain, and then the little loop you fasten onto. But I also buy these little lobster clips because I just think that's a more higher end keychain. Having this is better because I struggle with opening these. So that's just how I do it. And like I said, I'll link below, and I will link to some yellow, black, and white yarn if you guys don't have any, if you'd like. Oh, and to the little pliers, because I have a little plier kit I use, and those are super helpful. You won't be able to do this, I'm pretty sure, without pliers unless you're really super strong. And I'm just popping in here to say that we've reached our 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours milestone. So now my channel is officially monetized. But aside from that, I would like to say thank you guys for helping me achieve that goal. And I literally could not have done it without you guys. And I'm very grateful. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, about 70% of you are not. So I know we can boost this number up because I plan on doing another giveaway at 2,000 subscribers. And I would love for everybody to be a part of it because this giveaway that we're doing now is only eligible to subscribers and to people who have commented and liked my last 6 videos. So if you're not a subscriber and you didn't comment or like those videos, you need to do that now or you're going to be passed over for this opportunity. But yes, thank you guys for helping me reach this goal, and I really appreciate it. And we will get back to the video. Anyway, without further ado, we will get into the video. So to start, you're going to single crochet 6 into a magic ring, starting with the color yellow. So this video is in real time, mostly. I did cut out a couple of little parts just where I fumbled around a bit, but generally speaking, this video is real time. This keychain should only take you about 20 minutes to make, and you might even be able to make it faster if you crochet faster than I do, which I feel like most people do because I don't know, I'm pretty slow. But yes, so make your magic ring with 6 in it. Here I am counting a couple times because sometimes you just can't be sure. Then you pull close your magic ring. I like to give it a super good tug. I've personally never had a magic ring loosen up, but I really tug that ish home, For your next row, you're going to increase all the way around, which means you're going to do 2 single crochets into each of the stitches of the previous round. Your count should be 12 by the end of it. If you're newer, I recommend you use stitch markers, but with this small of a pattern, the highest you have to count is 12, so I do not use stitch markers during this video. But if you struggle to count, and no shame if you do, because I frequently do, if it's anything higher than 18, you should use a stitch marker. Now we are starting round 3. For round 3, you're going to single crochet all the way around, but in your last stitch, you're just going to start it. You're not going to finish it. So you're going to do the initial pull through till you have 2 loops on your hook. And instead of pulling through with the same yellow yarn, you're going to pull through with black yarn. This way it makes the stitch, the top of the stitch that you like see on the round, yellow, but then you begin the next stitch and it'll be with black yarn. So if you didn't know how to do a color change seamlessly, I mean, I guess not seamlessly because like there are actual seamless color changes, but if you didn't know how to do a proper color change, this is how you do it. So just single crochet all the way around. I make these bees, if I didn't say, for my markets all the time. These are a very popular seller. I've sold bee keychains and plush bees. Typically, like I said, I make them with like the plush yarn, but the keychains that I've sold previously have been with actually DK weight, or it might have been sport weight. They were like a finer yarn. It was a very mini keychain. The next round, you're going to switch your color to black. So there you go, pulling through with your black color to complete the final stitch of the last round, which you'll do 11 complete stitches, and then the last one will be like halfway done with black, and then you'll finish it off with yellow to change colors again. But this is another single crochet round, 1 in each stitch. So, in addition to making these for this video, I'm also market prepping a couple of them for the fall market season. Already on the docket, paid for, I have 2, and I think I am going to participate in at least 2 more, but I'm actually having a little bit of trouble finding a sitter because we usually use Zach's sister-in-law, but she has a wedding to go to in September, which is when my market season starts. And then one of the weekends in October, it's her pre-planned date night because her husband has off that weekend. So it's definitely going to be a challenge. But I'm going to do these markets one way or another. I might just have to do them by myself. I usually like to bring Zach though because it's more entertaining with a partner. So you see me leaving that last stitch unworked briefly so we can add the safety eyes. I used 6mm eyes. You can, if you did it in plush yarn, use bigger eyes. If you did it in a smaller weight yarn, you can use smaller eyes. I think the smallest I've seen is 5mm. So just whatever works for you. And I think I did these either 3 or 4 stitches apart, but I don't do it based on stitch count apart. I like to find the center of the magic ring and go just above that on either side of it, close-ish to the color change. I'll do it 1 row in front of the color change. So they're kind of wide set and a little bit higher than the middle. But whatever looks good to you. I mean, you can do them closer together, further apart. You can crochet on embroider on her face. I just left this guy very basic, but I have definitely added some blush before, a little bee smiley face is really cute, so however you want to do it. So here I am fastening on the backs. I use this handy little tool. It helps push the back on. Sometimes I fumble around with it a little bit, but it really does make it easier when you've got a back that's super tight and hard to get on. I'll link those down below as well. And then this part is optional, and you should only do it if you're a responsible adult. If you're under the age of 18 and still considered a child, I do not recommend doing this because I'm not going to be responsible for you burning down your house. But I like to burn down the backs so they're flush against the plushie, or I guess this is not a plushie in this case. but I like to burn them down the back so they sit flush against the like inside of the project, because I think it adds security. Like, you know, that bad boy's not going to pop off. So we're going to do round 5 in yellow, and once again, you guessed it, single crochet all the way around, so you end with 12 stitches. I don't remember what I was saying before this. What were we talking about? God, guys, I am fantastic at like voiceovers and chatting. I don't remember, but we'll just change the subject anyway. What are you guys working on other than market prep? Oh, that's what I was talking about, my fall markets. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have a babysitter. Probably going to do them alone. Less fun when you do them alone, but you know, the money is still going to be worth it. So sometimes you have to do what you got to do. But anyway, we'll change the subject because like a lot of videos coming up are going to be market prep related. So you guys will get sick of hearing me talk about it. What are you guys working on other than crochet related things? For me, I am working on, I wouldn't call it like a remodel because we're not ripping anything out. Maybe a light fixture and like some faucets. But we are redoing our master bathroom. Hang on a sec, we're going to do color change here, so we'll give verbal instructions on that, and then we'll go back into talking about my little project. So you'll switch colors back to black and single crochet all the way around, leaving that last stitch unworked briefly so you can do your color change in that last stitch. So yes, we're remodeling it. We sort of have plans to sell our house. I don't know, it's not like a fully fleshed out idea. We talked about moving closer to our family, which is like an hour south of us, because doing the drives like for every birthday and holiday, we have to drive down there like once to twice a month, and that's just like a lot. It like feels like it eats up the whole weekend. But obviously we want to see our family, so you know, we do. But the housing prices went up so much since we bought our house, like right before COVID hit. So yes, that makes that complicated, because why leave a 4-bedroom, it's a manufactured home technically, that we bought for like $93,000 to go buy a smaller home for like at this point double the money. Doesn't seem that reasonable. Here we're coming to the last stitch. We're doing our little color change situation. That was the last color change. So this is round 7, and you're going to use the yellow single crochet all the way around, but you can just do the 12th stitch. You don't have to worry about doing a color change in that stitch. But yeah, it seems unreasonable to go pay more for probably less space. So we considered moving up north as well, because I'm kind of getting sick of this like 10 months of the year summer situation. I like seasons, and I lived in Illinois for like 6 or 7 years, and that wasn't too bad. And I do have family in the Midwest. My mom and older sister and younger brother, one of my younger brothers, lives up north in Missouri. That's where my little sister lived before she passed as well. So we talked about going out there, and the houses do seem a lot cheaper, but also so does the rate of pay. So that's kind of a gamble as well. My spouse makes decent money, and you know, some months I make decent money, some months I don't. But I know anywhere in the country we go for daycare, it's going to be like our mortgage payment, if not more, because we still have 2 that would be daycare age. So I just don't know about doing all that either. At this point, we're going to stuff it. I like to use my little yarn scraps from working on a project first before I add like polyfill. And then I'll link some polyfill below, because I had seen a big old box at Joann's for, I don't remember how much it was, but then I seen the same box on Amazon and it was like literally half the price. And like I went back later and checked to make sure like I had read it right, and it was double the price for like the same amount. So usually Amazon you end up paying a little more, but not in this particular case. So after you stuff it, we're going to do our final round, which is going to be decreasing all the way around. You can do an invisible decrease if you want, because this is the like end. I didn't bother doing it here. If it had been in like the middle of the project, I might have, but I don't fuss around too much on doing that when it's unnecessary. So just decrease all the way around. You'll be performing 6 decreases, leaving you with 6 remaining stitches. But yes, the reason we're remodeling was because we had our realtor, the woman who helped us like buy this house, come and look at it and talk about what it would take to sell it. And she basically said that it like needs a little bit of like updating and cleaning up a little bit. We have kids, so they have like broken some things a little bit, and we've done some changes that need to be finished. After you do your decreases all the way around, you're gonna cut your yarn and fasten off, and then use that tail to close the hole. To do this, you will thread your needle. I'm using these like little needles with the big plastic eyes because they're easier to work with in my opinion, and they fit plush yarn really well. So I can use like the same needle for basically all projects, and I'll link those below as well. But if you've never done this, you thread your needle and then you go just under the front loop of each stitch all the way around one by one, and then cinch it closed. After you've cinched it closed and weaved in your ends, we're going to work on the wings now. The wings are no-sew, but if you don't understand these instructions and it would be easier to make wings separately and then sew them on, go ahead and do that. To do that, all you have to do is single crochet 4 into a magic ring and then just sew them on top wherever you'd like them to go. But for this pattern, you just take your white, crochet the wings directly onto the bee. You just slip stitch under. So what I like to do is kind of find the like center and go slightly off right and then off left of the center, so the wings like butt up against each other in the center. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense, you'll kind of see it in this. And you slip stitch on, and then you do 4 single crochets right under that same area that you slip stitched onto. So if you've ever done the like no-sew whale pattern by Knit Grits, the like whale fins are crocheted on the same way. So that's kind of like where I got the idea to do this. And I just think it goes a lot faster and it looks pretty like neat on it. Whereas sometimes if you're like a beginner crocheter, you can really struggle to crochet anything on, especially something that kind of needs to be centered. It's a challenge. So after you've completed the one wing, you cut the yarn and like fasten off, and then you do the same thing slightly off center on the left and do your slip stitch and then 4 single crochets under that same area that you just slip stitched onto. So I've slip stitched on, I'm trying to tighten it up, and then I am making my first single crochet and the second single crochet, and so on like that. After you've made all 4 single crochets on both sides, like I said, you fasten them both off and cut the yarn, and then all you're going to do is hide those yarn tails. When I'm hiding yarn tails, I didn't say this already, I like to go back and forth a few times through the body just because your piece can't be stretched in like all directions at one time. So if you go back and forth like 3 or 4 times, there's no way that the like tails are ever going to come out. It's when you go like only once or twice, if it's pulled on enough, they can like kind of work themselves out. You know what I'm saying? But you got that stuffing in there that you're kind of going between, and so it holds pretty well when you go back and forth a few times. And this right here is why I really like these like big eye sewing needles, because the ends of this yarn was like all frayed out, and normally sometimes you have to like cut the yarn and like lick it and smooth it down and pray to the yarn gods that it's going to allow you to thread through, and it can just be a hassle. But all frayed out without working with it, I can get it right onto the needle and sew my little heart out. So now we come time to do the keychain parts. There are 3 pieces to this keychain. One is a little loop. You're going to take your pliers and take that little loop, and I put it toward the front of my bee wings. If you wanted to leave a little gap between the bee wings, I think that could work too. I tend to like to put them like on the bee wings, but I don't know, it's a lot tighter with the worsted weight yarn, so there wasn't space, so I just did it in front of them. But you can really position it however you want. But yep, you go right under a stitch, just like how you crocheted on the wings. You kind of do the same thing with this little loop. So you see there, I've got the loop on, and the loops come open like that, so you can like do this part. Then you take the chain part of the keychain and slide it on, and then you just squeeze that guy closed. I like to squeeze from like all directions, so it's like as together as it possibly can be. And I've personally never had anybody complain about their keychain breaking. But if you have like other tips, or you think I'm not doing like this keychain part right, because I didn't actually watch any tutorials, I just kind of like guessed how you do it because I've seen a keychain before. You guys let me know down below if I'm not doing it correctly. And yeah, this is your little bee keychain, or as I like to call them, keychain. If you'd like to see more crochet content, check out this video right here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!